handshake, promises sliding underneath the door. Politicians playing poker with the chips of rich and poor. Every word's a calculation, every pause worth so much more. While the people keep on waiting for the truth they're hungry for. And they lean in close to tell you what they heard somebody say. But the it's bent and twisted as it travels on its way. Who do you trust when the talk gets low? Who do you trust when the whispers grow in the halls of power where the secrets flow? Do you trust? Tell me who do you trust? Growing thicker, every lie becomes the truth, and the honest voices calling sound like strangers in the booth. We're all just trying to listen to the static and the noise, but the loudest information drowns out the quieter voice. Who do you trust when the talk gets low? Who you trust when the whispers grow in the halls of power where the secrets flow? Who you trust? Tell me who do you trust? Who you trust? Do you trust? Do you trust? Do you trust when the whispers grow?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Political Theater. This is Monday night, episode 121. Thanks for joining us this evening. We have a huge announcement on my end, at least, that I now have a second daughter. Ruby Rain Kurt has now been born. She is exactly 1 day old now, so that's new news for me, so that is great news on my end. But guys, thank you guys for showing up. If you guys are on X, if you're on the space, make sure you guys share this link out. We're now going back to the point where we're going to try and have, I figured out, by the way, that I can simulcast both the live version of this and be in the space at the same time on the same account, which we didn't know we could do before, but it looks like it is working. Now, we do know we may have some audio issues with the music and whatnot coming in, but, you know, there's only so much we can do, people. There's only so much we can do. But thank you guys for showing up anyway. If you guys would do me a favor and share this link out, that'd be appreciated. If you guys want to leave a comment, we do read all of the comments throughout the space on all of the different streams. If you're on Substack, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Rumble, if you're on, wherever else you may be listening to us, please leave a comment below, and we will always read those. We always respond to them. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, make sure you guys give us a good review there. Make sure you always check out our sponsors, by the way. That is TWC.health. That is our sponsor for the show. That is the Wellness Company. Thank you guys for showing up. And if you guys go to TPT, that is the code for this show. That gives you 10% off. So it's TWC.health/TPT. Take back control of your health. Okay. We have a ton to talk about because the Democrats have decided to go, I don't know, the only way I can describe it is full communist. I mean, I don't know how else to describe what's going on here. Mom Dami's takeover of the Democrat Party, I guess, they've just leaned as far into it as they possibly can. So it is amazing to watch. He's also been caught that it finds out that his aunt apparently didn't actually wear a hijab, but now, whatever. He's now now it's like his second cousin, third removed or something like that. It's just complete nonsense. The guy doesn't care at all. He's just a liar, and he just comes up with whatever he wants, whatever he thinks sounds the best. But but even if it was that, I do love all of the memes I saw over the weekend of him being like, yeah, your aunt that was yelled at, someone said mean things to her. That's the real victims on 9/11, not mentioning the actual victims of 9/11. Now that's not important to him at all. The Virginia Democrats have also decided to move forward with their redistricting plan, which is just completely insane. They didn't even allow any debate. at all. So they had their redistricting meeting today. They essentially sat out there and they talked about birthing people and all of their big donors, and then didn't allow a single bit of debate from the other side. And now they're going to move against something that was voted on by 65% of the Commonwealth just a few years ago. And they're going to see if they can just circumvent that and move forward with the redistricting plan. So the Democrats have decided that they don't care anymore. They're going full communist. They're just leaning as far into it as they possibly can. They don't care anymore. But we've got a lot more to talk about other than just that. There's also some more stuff coming out. There's Joe Biden has emerged from the crypt. I don't know why he's back, but he's back and he's mad about something. I'm not sure what it is, but he's very angry and he wants to tell us all about it. I think they should have just left him where they found him. Put him back in the coffin, close it back up. We don't need to hear from him, but he thinks we need to hear from him. So we'll have to talk about that and a whole lot more. So thank you guys for showing up this evening. Make sure you guys share this link out. And Trash, how are you, my friend? What's going on?
Well, doing well. Happy Monday to all, and especially God is good all the time. And congratulations, my friend, on the second child. It is a miracle. It's a miracle of life, and so congratulations on that. It's great news. And yeah, there's so much to talk about here today. Oh my goodness gracious! So I don't know if people are aware. We're gonna probably have a short space so new dad can go be new dad again, and I'll probably have a follow up space to kind of get to some of the topics because there's no way we're gonna get to all of it.
Yeah, there's no
There's
way.
just so much.
Yeah, there's no way we'll get through everything because this weekend was crazy. But I don't even know where we want to start here. I just been watching the mom Kami here. Just he's a victim. He's terrible. I don't even know how to begin here with this guy after all of the stuff that came out over the weekend for the New York race here. But I also saw early vote numbers for New York, which apparently his early vote numbers they're astronomically higher than normal. And I asked a couple insiders what that means, and they said that is not good news. So that's not good. But I don't know. I'm still holding out some sort of hope there that maybe somehow people realize that they don't want a communist mayor, but maybe they won't. Maybe that doesn't matter anymore. The communists are winning, apparently in New York. So we'll see. There's also some new video that came out today, or maybe it was yesterday, that apparently one of the campaign staffers for Kami here, he is. Talking about how they've been planning to do this since 2014 or something like that. I don't know. It seemed like some pretty wild video. I think that was out from Pozobic earlier, maybe. Maybe it was Pozobic. I can't remember exactly who released that earlier. But, just more proof of that. Plus, we'll talk about all that and more. So where do you want to start, Trash? I don't even know what to begin with here.
Well, I mean, we can here. I can send you a clip here. I'm trying to get organized.
You're fine.
Yeah. So I've got one here. Actually, I've got the follow up here where he's trying to backtrack it. He's trying calm down. He's trying to
calm down. I like Kamdami. I got a bunch of clips of Kamdami here where he says, "My aunt stopped taking the subway in 9/11 and did not feel safe in her hijab." That's the original clip. I've got that one.
Original. This is the follow-up I just sent you into your DM.
Okay, so before we even play that, I'll play the original so people know what we're talking about here. So this is what he was talking about when his poor victim aunt or whatever the hell it is, and it was within like 12 hours someone found his aunt and was like, oh, she doesn't wear hijab, like. Just whatever. We'll play this real quick and then we'll go to the follow up that apparently happened today or yesterday or something like that.
I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab. I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims.
So there is the oh my goodness, my poor aunt was unable to wear her hijab in New York. Oh Lord, the poor victim of Mom Kami here. But then this is the follow up. This was just a couple hours ago. Apparently this came out. I saw this as well. I thought this was ridiculous that it was that quick that he just changed it. So now it's what is it? It's his father's cousin named Zahir Fuhrer who said that. I mean, and he's dead too. I didn't know that part. I didn't see that part. That's even better. So here, let me play this here. Clip is low here.
Yes, I was speaking about my aunt. I was speaking about Zahra Fouhi, my father's cousin, who sadly passed away a few years ago. And for the takeaway from my more than 10-minute address about Islamophobia in this race and in this city to be the question of my aunt tells you everything about Andrew Cuomo and his inability to reckon with a crisis of his own.
So there you go. It's now he's changed it to his, some other random person that no one's ever heard of, who is also dead, so you can't prove him wrong. But they don't care. Okay, like he doesn't care at all. He's just coming up with whatever he wants. Like, I mean, it's just, I'm a victim somehow of Islamophobia, even though no one cares. Sorry, dude. Like, Islamophobia, all of these stupid phobias, none of that stuff matters to us anymore. Like, maybe you just don't be a, Islamo-fascist communist, and we wouldn't be talking about this. But, this also plays into the stuff that over the weekend, I don't know if you guys saw the whole rant between Matt Walsh and Mehdi Hassan and how ridiculous that was. I don't know if we talked about that on Friday or maybe Thursday, whatever day I was on last. But the deal is that, Hassan also got all bent out of shape because, Matt Walsh correctly said, "You're not very American." And we also found out from a friend of ours, a friend of the show, that apparently I get my Islamist confused. That Hassan had waived part of his citizenship. We had found that out, a week before that or something like that. So, his citizenship oath, he refused to take part of it on religious grounds or something like that. So, Hassan came out and he said, "Oh, I'm much more American than Matt Walsh because there were Muslim slaves or something in this country," which is ridiculous in the first place. I mean, just the concept that there was Muslim slaves here. Okay, maybe there were some Muslim slaves here. He claims that there's 1 in 3 were Muslim. I don't ever, I've studied a lot of, American Revolutionary history and a lot of American history. I've never heard that number before. Have you ever heard that before, Trash? I've never heard that before.
No, I've never heard it before. Did he mention the Uyghurs by chance?
No, of course he didn't mention the Uyghurs. Why would he mention those? You can't mention actual people that are persecuted. But listen, he doesn't care about any of that. But my favorite was then he goes on this minute or a couple minute long rant where he proceeds to say that Muslims built this country, which is not true. And then he says that Muslims also fought in all of our wars. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but I mean, if you can see here in this, I'll change the camera view for those who are watching this. This library here has lots of books on it. And lots of books about the Civil War, about the Revolutionary War. And, I've read almost every single book on this shelf. And you know what's crazy, Trash? I have never come across the name Muhammad, Hassan, or, Ali, or any of those names in any historical reference about the Revolutionary War or the Civil War or, any major war around the time of our founding or any of the major significant turning points in our country. I've never once seen the name Hassan or Muhammad in any of those books. Now, he claims that there's, some great amount of contribution, and I really looked deep into this. I was like, well, what is there even any references? And it turns out there are exactly four references to Muslims in the Revolutionary War. That's it. 4 whole people. One was a camel driver. Yeah, that's significant contributions to, the founding of this country. Definitely is. So, I don't know what Hassan was thinking here coming out, and he just looked like an idiot. I mean, it was the dumbest rant I've heard in a while. And then he proceeded to try and say that he got more views than Matt Walsh on his video, even though the only reason he got more views is because Matt Walsh quoted him and ratioed him twice. These people are irrelevant people that believe that they have some sort of influence because they used to be on major news networks. And Mehdi Hassan, who is somebody that, has always just been a complete bloviating idiot, has believed somehow that he, there we go, said Franklin and Muhammad Jefferson. There we go. That's right. I forgot Muhammad Jefferson was the one that helped pen the Constitution. I forgot about that. That these people are incredible, that they think they're as relevant as they are. That they're not important, but they like to pretend that they are. So Mehdi got all mad, and he proceeded for days on end to cry about how he was called out by Matt Walsh, and then just looked like an idiot the whole time. But this whole Islamist idea that there is any Muslim founding to this country whatsoever is complete and total nonsense. But of course, that now if you mention any of that, that's Islamist somehow. And if you go read, I was looking for these books that we're talking about that he mentions. All the references to Muslim Americans that helped found the country or something like that. There is. Every book that even mentions anybody that is Muslim in that time period, where they're written after? They're written after the year 2005. So 0 contemporary sources at all during that time period mentioning these people. And of course, if you listen to the postmodernist idiots they'll claim, well, that's because, the slaves and all these people weren't represented well in history. Like, well, sucks. I mean, I don't know how to explain this to you. Like, history is written by the victors and the people who are in charge of the time. If you weren't in charge of the time, you just weren't important. And I'm not going to make my history inclusive for you just because you feel like it's important now. So if you want to talk about, the goat herder that fed Paul Revere's horses or something, that's great, but I don't care. They're not important, okay? Like, these people don't matter, okay? The people that founded this country are Christians. They were all Christians. They were all either Christians of some kind. The entire founding of this country is based in Christianity. So the idea that the Muslim origins of this country, there are zero of those things. So, I love that they want to talk about it, though, that they want to bring it up and act like they exist, but they don't. So that was entertaining to listen to. And Mom Kami out here talking about how his poor Muslim aunt that, doesn't exist, or maybe she didn't wear her hijab, so now it's somebody else, is just another example of these idiot postmodernists that like to claim that all these things are, oh my goodness, we're bigots because we're talking about them. Like, no. I mean, maybe if you just didn't suck, we wouldn't talk about you. But it is amazing to listen to these people try and, whine and cry about it as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, it really is. And honestly, it's actually offensive to me because I do love this country very, very much. And I gotta tell you, Mehdi is more than welcome to go kick it with Sadiq Khan back in the UK, Mayor of London. I'm sure that he would find that experience much more pleasurable. I don't want him here. I want him denaturalized and deported. I'm done with him. So I don't really care. And I have absolutely zero interest in listening to the guy preen on. Did you see this? Did you see the story that came out about how our left socialist friendly group, the WFP, obviously, funding through Soros Open Society, funneled money in recent years to the Working Families Party and at least 9 other left-wing organizations that supported Mamdani's successful campaign in New York Democrat mayoral. Other unnamed NGOs also received funds totaling to $13.9 million figure. Zoran Mamdani, who's been accused of being a Marxist and a communist. Did you see this?
I did not see this.
Well, how about I copy the link, send it to you, and the whole world that's in the listening audience and viewing audience can hear and see it, because it's really quite something.
Yeah, send it over to me. I want to check it out. That sounds interesting. So,
yeah, it was Christina Gallo reported on it, so I went ahead and sent that to you.
Is this clip here that you just sent?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let me see. I can pull this up and play this here. So I'm curious what this is. I missed this. Share this tab. There we go. Okay, let's see what she's got to say here.
And here are your top stories. Records have revealed that George Soros funneled $37 million to support Democrat socialist Zoran Mamdani's campaign and marginalize Andrew Cuomo. According to those recently released records, Soros, through his Open Society Foundation, funneled the money in recent years to the Working Families Party and at least 9 other left-wing organizations that supported Mamdani's successful campaign in the New York Democrat mayoral primary. The WFP, a far-left socialist-friendly group, received $23.7 million from Soros through its nonprofit fundraising arm, then used that money to help Mamdani. An additional almost $14 million was distributed to 9 other nonprofit organizations and their fundraising entities, all of which endorsed Mamdani's campaign and supported his progressive agenda. Specific groups funded by Soros included Make the Road Action, Community Voices Heard, Move On, Jewish Voice for Peace Action, which is described as an anti-Zionist group. Other unnamed profits also received funds totaling the more than $13.9 million figure. Mamdani, who has been accused of being a Marxist and communist, won the Democrat mayoral primary by a 12-point margin over Cuomo, securing a record 565,000 votes. While Soros and his family did not directly donate to Mamdani's campaign, the Open Society Foundation's grants indirectly supported his candidacy through these organizations' advocacy and ground efforts. That's what you need to know in Dallas.
I love the B-roll that she had for that clip. That is just fantastic. Like, I don't know if anybody else watched the like if you're watching the show, if you're viewing audience here, that B-roll was just fantastic. It's just Mamdani and his ridiculous rap video that he did from like a falafel truck or something. Like, I love that they just used that B-roll. That was fantastic. This guy is such a clown, and he's just a theater kid. I mean, he's just an actor, really. I mean, that's all this guy is. He's not like some, great wizard of some kind. I mean, he's just an actor, like a lot of the other theater kids in Congress. But But it was interesting to watch as she's describing all of the money that Soros gave him, and he's just like dancing around in the falafel truck. Like, I mean, what a great B-roll.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think it's well produced. I liked it. But I mean, and it's not like surprising. We're not dropping bombshell information here. But like, yeah, I mean, it's directly related. We've seen how this plays out everywhere across this country, whether it's DAs, whether it's AGs, whether it's, some kind of local offices. We've seen how this all plays out, and it all goes one direction. And Mondami's, Calm Dami is what I call him, but he's no different. And the thing is, it's all self-interest, right? I mean, yeah, you had the freshmen, they came in under Soros money. They made a fake documentary about it. So Stunning and Brave. If you guys haven't seen that, that's quite the watch. It's hard to watch, but it's quite the watch.
Stunning and brave. Just so stunning, so stunning, so brave.
So emotional, so amazing, so evergreen. Like, wow, what a move. These young freshmen first into the Congress, and look how they've done. This is what they were talking about around the table, and this is their ground game. And it's the same thing here. It's a polished speaker that will lie about everything, and for some reason, these people just eat it up. Now, I understand why many more Muslims would be in New York. I don't, but everything else, no, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you're literally going to bankrupt the city if any of those policies go through. Which it's going to be really funny, even if he does get in, that literally none of that's going to happen. Like, he just lies to them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the deal. Like, the money in New York City isn't going to let that happen. I mean, like, I know he wants to pretend like it's going to, and he'll probably do a bunch of really crazy things. But the insane, ridiculous things that he's talking about, like, you're not going to make rent free, okay? Like, you're not going to just cancel rent. You can't do that. One, I mean, you would be in court so quickly. Like, I mean, it's complete nonsense. But maybe he'll get his what was it, his government grocery stores. Like, we'll get the bread lines, maybe. I mean, that'll be nice.
Well, we saw how that turned out in Kansas City or St. Louis, one of the two. That grocery store that was taken over by the city or whatever was empty, barren in 3 months. 3 months it took to destroy that grocery store. Rent freezes. Yeah. Okay. Faster buses, free and faster buses. Well, I mean, you can only go so fast in New York City.
Yeah.
So
I love the bus concept. Like, anybody who's ever been to New York City is like, who is taking the bus? Like, I mean, I get it. Like, the idea is something, but, how are you going to make them faster? Like, are you just going to clear traffic somehow? Like, I mean, that's just going to magically happen. Like, I mean, this is ridiculous stuff.
He's gonna put Mad Max plows on the front.
There we go. Now that's it. I didn't even think about that. Mad Maxing all the buses. Now that's a policy I'll support. I mean, come on. I mean, listen, if you put snow plows, if you put full plows and just completely ram over top of taxi cabs and just clear streets with them, that sounds great to me. That sounds like a fun. That at least that'll be entertaining. So I don't see a problem with that, actually.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the natural conclusion of all these policies turns it into a Mad Max in the Thunderdome in New York City. So you might as well just get ahead of the curve and just get it cracking.
That's right. I mean, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, I think that's a good idea. Hell, maybe I'm more supportive of Mom Dami than I thought. If he can put Mad Max plows on all the buses, that sounds awesome.
Yep. Or have like these ejection plates where the bus is supposed to turn the corner and there's like 2 cars ahead of it. So they just like eject the cars out of the way, and then the bus turns.
Oh, now that's an idea.
You make buses faster. I don't know.
That's a good idea. I mean, you could just have hydraulic lifts that come out of the ground and throw cars. Just throw them onto the sidewalk. I mean, that sounds perfect. So you just launch them directly out from underneath them. You just as the bus moves through the street, you just launch the cars onto the sidewalks. A few people will die, but I mean, well, who cares really? I mean, like, at the end of the day, that's fine. Like, I mean, at least the buses will be faster. And if you're taking the bus, you're clearly a much more important citizen than anybody else in New York City. So that makes more sense. I think that works.
Yeah. And it's not like the streets in New York are landlocked or anything. They could definitely expand and make bus lanes, can't they? Oh, no, they can't.
Well, maybe they'll make sky buses, dude. They'll just put them between the skyscrapers, and we'll just build a whole new system. And all of the people that leave that have money, they'll be forced to pay for it when they leave, because he'll institute a new tax that when you leave New York City, 100% of your wealth has to transfer to the city. That'll be
Or
how.
they can like cut the buildings in half and then put them on stilts, and that's how you can create your bus lane.
Oh,
I'm just thinking outside the box here a little.
yeah, I mean, you got to come up with something different. I mean, it's got to be unique. I mean, maybe we can just have like skyboxes, like what are those things they have at like Disney World, right? Like where it's like the like the cable cars and whatnot. Like they'll just put those all over New York City. Like I mean, that's
Yeah,
a good idea.
yeah. We can have trolleys.
That's right. Yeah, well, we'll have sky trolleys. Yeah, sky trolley New York. I mean, that sounds like a brilliant idea. I mean, you just dump it off in every banker's his lobby then becomes a opening port for a community travel. Like I mean that works.
But you know what the craziest thing is about this is that they showed the footage from the weekend where Bernie and AOC were out there. By the way, AOC just saying a whole lot of random wild things. But Mamdani spoke at that too. And he literally got the entire crowd to chant, "We're going to have free buses and what? Faster buses." And everyone's like, "Woo, faster." It's really kind of the epitome. These voters, it's really kind of the epitome that they are first order thinkers. They do not think anything through. We sat here and riffed for 5 minutes just clowning the idea because we think it through. It's clearly not something. It would never happen. And like everybody in the crowd's like, he's like, "We're gonna have faster buses or free buses and what? Faster buses. Hey." Have you seen this?
Yeah, I haven't seen that section of the clip, but I do have AOC here, which she's talking
Oh
about.
yeah, we gotta play that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, we'll play.
I'll go find the Mondani clip.
Yeah, get the Mom Dami clip of them chanting about the buses because I want to hear that. But here's AOC explaining how she is definitely sane. 100%. There's nothing wrong with this woman at all.
We are not the crazy ones. We are not the outlandish ones. They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane. We are not the crazy.
Yes, that's what most people that are sane say. We are not crazy. We're not. We swear. Okay, we promise we are not crazy. We are not the insane ones. We are so totally sane. There is nothing insane about what we're talking about. Free buses, faster buses for all. I mean, and free food and and also just free housing. And all the people that own the buildings there, they're just going to have to pay for it because, well, we said so, and that's legal. Like, I mean, you can just do that. You can cancel all rent. You can give everybody free food, and we can live in the magic pixie dust land of the Teletubbies for all of eternity. And that nothing happens. Nothing's wrong with that. That's perfectly normal. I mean, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, there's nothing crazy about any of that.
No, absolutely not. There's absolutely nothing crazy about it. I did send you a clip here. It's not the buses one, but it is. I think Marina Medvin's here is spot on when she says he leads a socialist rally in New York City. It's like watching a Soviet textbook acted out. I think that's absolutely correct. Let me see if this is the buses.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and play this one here. Let me see this.
City, one where every person who calls it home can live a dignified life. No New Yorker should ever be priced out of anything they need to survive. And we believe then, we believe today, we will believe tomorrow that it is government's job to deliver that dignity. Dignity, my friends, is another way of saying freedom.
Well, I mean, it was close. He said it at the end there. Dignity is another way of saying freedom, but he should have just left off the dom and just said free. So
Exactly.
if he had just left that off, then it would have been accurate. Dignity is another way of saying free shit. If he had just
it.
yeah. Oh, you got
Play
the
this
bus
clip.
one? Yes, the bus one.
You're gonna crack up. The whole crowd's like, "Yeah, free." There's a bunch of Sikhs sitting behind him for some reason.
I noticed this. Okay, like I saw this clip and I was like, what's with the Sikhs sitting behind him? Like, I mean, I don't understand, and none of them are even remotely emotional. Like, they're completely like stoic the entire time. I thought this was wild. I was like, what is happening here? Like, why are none of them even emotionally reacting to any of this? Like, it was just very strange. But anyway, let's play this here.
We are going to freeze the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants. And use every resource at our disposal to build housing for everyone who needs it. We are going to eliminate the fare on every single bus line and make what are currently the slowest buses in the nation move around this city with ease.
my God.
And we are going to create universal child care at no cost to parents. So New Yorkers can raise their family in the city they love. Together, New York, we're going to freeze the... Together, New York, we're going to make buses fast and... Together, New York, we're going to deliver universal...
Oh, my God. This is atrocious.
We will make our city one where every person who calls it home
What is that?
can live a dignified
What
life.
is this? Like, I mean, what, hold on here. Like, okay. We are going to make the buses faster. Like, what is happening? What are you doing? Like, are you people, like the people of New York, I swear to God, if you believe what this man is saying, I don't even know what to say. Like, I mean, this is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. We're going to give you all of the free shit. You know, we're going to give it to you. You're going to get it. It's going to be so free. It's going to be the freest free shit you've ever freed. I mean, what are you talking about? Like, we're just going to freeze the rent for 2 million New Yorkers. And like, how are you going to accomplish that? Like, what you're going to make the buses faster? We're going to make them together. We're going to make the buses faster and free. Like, oh, great. So not only are we going to have Mad Max style buses, but they're also going to be free Mad Max buses, and also universal childcare for all the New Yorkers. Like, how? What money are you producing that is going to do this? Who are you going to take it from? There is no such thing as something that is free. I mean, like, I don't understand. Like, how is it being paid for? Like, are you just going to have, you know, is there going to be Mom Dami's whole crew is just going to be there at daycare? Like, are you personally going to take care of all the children of New York, Mom Dami? Like, I don't understand how this is going to work. Who is going to take care of who? Who is going to pay the people to take care of them? I mean, it is amazing listening to someone that has clearly has no intention of doing any of this. And people are cheering it on like, oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're just going to give you everything that you've ever dreamed of that you can think of that's free. We're going to do that. I mean, where has this ever been accomplished anywhere? I mean, I guess the next question is, has this ever been accomplished anywhere? And the answer is no, of course it hasn't, because it's impossible. I mean, it's impossible to do. There is no way to create free everything and then just tell everybody, yeah, we're going to make it. Like, it's just going to happen. Like, wonderful. You know, that sounds incredible. If you manage to figure out how to create the free shit and everybody gets all the free shit, you know, I guess everybody will move to New York then. Like, hell, I mean, if it's all free, I mean, why wouldn't I? I mean, apparently I don't have to pay rent. I can just show up. I can show up and they'll pay my child care. They'll pay my rent. They'll give me a free bus, you know, even though I don't know how it's going to get there, but, you know, I get a free bus to take me around. But what do I need to work for? I guess that's the other part of this. Like, if you don't have to do anything and you get all this stuff for free, then, like, do you have to work? Like, can I just show up and just get all my stuff paid for? That sounds incredible. Like, hell, Trash, maybe we have to move to New York, dude. Apparently, we're going to get free health care. We're going to get free child care. There's going to be government grocery stores. I mean, hell, this sounds like paradise, man.
Well, I mean, if the rent is frozen too, I mean, think about all of like the wealthier people and the business owners and corporate people that are obviously going to be taxed in result of this. And Mondani has laid that out before on MSNBC and CNBC, talking about initially it was like a modest 2% increase, and that'll pay for everything. And then I think it went up to like 3 or 4 or 5%. Plus, you're going to be crushing businesses and landlords. Oh, and by the way, we're going to continue to tax you, because all that's going to be funded for maybe 6 months. And so if the rent's frozen, there's going to be a lot of penthouses opening up. And if we get all free shit and frozen rent, maybe we can go get a penthouse in New York.
Oh, dude, I didn't think about that.
Maybe we can get into Keith Olbermann's building.
Oh, my goodness, dude. I didn't even think about that. We could get free penthouses. Guys, what are we doing? Why are we even why am I worried about rent? I mean, like, what am I worried about making money for? I can just move to New York and they'll pay for it. I mean, they're going to freeze the rent, guys. There's going to be no rent. I mean, they're going to do it.
If I want to go across town to a nice restaurant, that will be going out of business, so you know prices will be slashed, I can take a free and fast Mad Max plow bus.
That's right. I mean, it's going to be free and fast, and it'll take you directly to the grocery store. That's also free, and then it'll take you from there to the child care space, which will somehow be free. Now, I don't know who's going to be working at the child care for free people. Like, I mean, the free child care sounds very interesting. Universal child care for all. Fascinating. I would love to see how that works. Who is manning the free childcare now? The other question is, if we're doing free childcare, and everybody gets that for free. Are the people that are manning the childcare stations, how is their childcare paid for? Is that also free? Do they have, the slaves in the back that they just, they whip them up and they have to pay? Like, I don't understand how any of this could possibly function. So, but apparently it just works. We're just going to do it. Like, it's just going to happen. Like, we're just going to do this. We're going to make it all free. It's going to be fast, free, and, there's not going to be anything that changes. Nothing is going to change for the people in New York. It's just going to be free. So, it's very difficult for me to comprehend how stupid you have to be to believe this stuff. But apparently, a large portion of people in New York believe this is going to happen, and they're willing to chant at rallies about it. I mean, just what is happening? I don't understand. Like, how bad is the education in New York City that people are so dumb that they believe that this is going to work? Like, I don't, do you really believe this? Like, do you really believe he's going to deliver on the free everything policy? Like, just, what is that free for free commercial? You remember that? Like, there's some commercial from years ago that say free for free. I mean, that's your campaign messaging, apparently. So then apparently people are buying it. Like, I don't understand, man. Where is AOC with this, though? I know there was a better clip of AOC for this.
Sorry about that. I thought I was on mute.
Yeah,
Sorry
you were
about
muted. Yeah, you're fine. Go ahead.
So I came across something here. Apparently, Mondani also says that the free bus rides, which will be fast, free, and with Mad Max plows, they'll also stop all crime on buses because they're free.
Oh, that's good. Well, how are we going to accomplish that? I thought we were going to get rid of the police.
Yeah, well, because he's going to either assign everybody a personal security detail that he has himself stepping off the bus after making.
I didn't know that this is a free personal security as well. I didn't know that. Damn, I was unaware that we were also doing free personal security. So free executive security for all New Yorkers. That's brilliant. That's a policy I can get behind.
And also, by the way, one of the United States and world's largest economies in New York City. He just simply says that no, like there's no such thing. There should never be anything as billionaires and millionaires need to be taken down a peg and need to be taxed higher. I'm like, well, great. Here's the thing. All those people that you're mentioning that you think you're going to tax, the moment if you are elected, that they can snap their fingers and no longer live there to be taxed. Like it's not that big of a deal for them. It's really not. So like it sounds utopian almost. Where have I heard stuff like this before? That's right, the Soviet Union.
That's right.
That's right, the Bolsheviks. My apologies.
Well, I mean, but the deal is like, the people of New York that are voting for this, a large portion of Mamdani's base are actually like the extremely wealthy liberal class of people. Like that's like a large portion of his base. And like, what do you think? How is this going to benefit? Like, who are you thinking that you're going to benefit as a result of this? Like, it's you that are going to lose the most money out of all this. So I don't know what they're thinking. Who exactly believes this is a good idea? But the free aspect of it, like you're just saying things. What is it that is it? It's like Steve Carell from The Office. He's like, I declare bankruptcy. Like, wonderful. He's just declared, and he walks in and he declares it loudly into the office. Like it's the same concept here. We're just declaring that things are free without actually doing anything about it. Like, I mean, it's just, I declare that all buses will be free and fast. He's magically going to solve the traffic problem that has existed in New York for all of time. He's going to magically make all of those things faster. He's just going to give you rent for free. Like, I mean, who is going to pay for any of it? Okay, like, I mean, someone has to pay somewhere. I guess his idea is that he's going to tax the hell out of the class of people that actually, make money in New York. The only reason New York is 10% of our GDP. I guess that's the concept. But what's going to result from that is that those people are all going to leave.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So let's hear from himself. I actually dug up from RNC Research. I actually dug up the clip where he is asked this question. It looks like, Telemundo 47? Is that what that is down there? New York, there's a New York ABC or NBC affiliate, but then I think it's Telemundo. I sent you the clip. He was asked. So here's his answer on October 17th.
Okay, so here we go. So here's his answer on free buses for all.
But the question is how you'll make them free.
We will fund the revenue that would have otherwise been brought in from fares. And that's something that we would do in partnership with Albany. And I've put forward two proposals. The first is to raise taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers by 2%. That would raise $4 billion. The second is to raise the state's top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey, which would raise $5 billion.
We're going to.
Okay, so just raise the taxes. I mean, that's so you are going to raise the taxes like that. So it's not free at all. Actually, you're not doing anything for free. You're just going to raise the taxes, and you're just going to raise them by 5% and 2%, and somehow that's going to do this. Like, I'm sure, because government programs are well known for when you claim that they cost a couple $1 billion. That they often only cost that. That's well known. Everybody knows that every time the government says it's only going to cost a couple $1 billion to do something, it's always just that. I mean, that's always accurate. It never goes over. It always runs on budget, always on time. Everybody knows that this is how this works. So, we're just going to raise the taxes on everybody that makes money for the city, and we're just going to expect them to deal with it, and they're going to stick around, even though all of those people now, they can literally just up and leave at any point because, it's not like it was, 50 years ago where you can't move. You can't move the financial center. That's not the way that works anymore. You can just move anywhere. Miami is growing rapidly as a result of this. They forget that there is a free country and you can just straight leave your state, which is what a large portion of New Yorkers have already done. So what's his plan for keeping the people that make the money in New York in New York? Does he have a plan for that? Because these people are all going to leave if you start taxing them to all hell. I mean, that's just why I was saying he's probably going to have to institute a rule that when you move from New York to flee from his insane radical policies, that all of your money is then transferred to the city of New York. I think that's going to be the number one policy that he institutes. Like, it's going to be a fleeing New York tax. And even if you flee to other states, they're going to institute a new tax that taxes you once you move to your new state, just because there's a retroactive tax. So everybody that used to live in New York will then have to pay for it. Now, I'm surprised he hasn't come up with that already. I mean, I'm surprised that's not a number one policy already.
So I'm talking to Grok over here. I'm trying to get some numbers, and he's being like really autistic. So let me rephrase my question. Every year for New York City, let's just see if even 9 billion even touches it, which I suspect. I don't know if it does. So let me do a quick answer here because he's being autistic, which is great, by the way. Grok's getting a lot better, but going a little over the top. Yeah, so operating revenue for 2024 was estimated at somewhere between 17 and 19 billion dollars. That's what I thought.
Yes. Yeah, so just increase it. We just need to increase it. We're going to tax everybody to death, and this will somehow work.
Yeah, but his plan only accounts for $4 billion off the personal income tax of the top 1% and $5 billion if he raises the corporate tax, like he has modeling it in New Jersey. So he's only funding it for the tune of about 50%. So I guess everyone else is going to have to work for free for the rest of the year, essentially.
Well, it is. Of course, dude. It's all free. Didn't you hear what the policy was? It's all free. And by the way, someone found Jacktron here found the commercial that I was referring to. So here you go. The free for free for free, free, free. If this actually loads here. Yeah, this is it here. It's only 30. Perfect. Beautiful. This could be a Mom Dami ad right here.
Wait, it's not?
Yeah, I mean that wasn't actually. Sorry, I'm sorry. That was actually a Mom Dami ad right there for his campaign. That is the free for free for free Mom Dami campaign. Yes, that is sponsored by Zohan Mamdani. So I sorry, I didn't mean to play one of his ads on this show. But that is it. That is true. That is accurate. That is from his campaign directly. Free for free. Amazing. I mean, this is really it's so obnoxious. Like, it's just like. I don't know why he thinks that this is something that you can just do, but he does. Honestly, I don't think he cares. He just knows that it'll get him the votes. That's all he cares about.
Well, and since we're still on New York, before we pivot out, this is a wonderful clip that I have been saving today, because it's directly related to Zohan Mamdani, and Kathy Hochul does not handle the question well. So buckle up, get your favorite salad dressing because we've got word salad on the way, folks.
Oh, wonderful. Kathy Hochul, is she now joining Kamala Harris's Word Salad University? Is that what we're doing now?
Yes.
Okay.
And she knows how bad it is if she gets behind Mom Domini as her trying to rerun for governor.
Okay, so there we go. There we go. Get the share up there. There we go. All right, let's see what she's got here.
The reception
Wow, that's really loud. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Just fixing the audio on that. There we go.
Kamala salad. Let's go.
received last night at Zoran's rally where people were chanting, tax the rich, tax the rich. Are you going to hold the line on raising taxes, even if it means losing an endorsement or getting a primary challenge?
I couldn't hear what they were chanting. I thought they were saying, "Let's go Bills." I wasn't sure. When you're up there, I heard some noise. I heard a lot of cheers. But later on, it became clear to me that there is I know there's passion for that. I mean, I went in there as the leader of the Democratic Party.
Hold on. What is there a passion for? Let's go Bills. Is that what I'm understanding here? This is what you think they were chanting? Like, that's what the passion was? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's about the passage of time. I'm pretty sure she fell out of a coconut tree here. But let's continue.
Whose job it is to unify behind the Democratic nominee. I love the energy out there. I told them that. And I want to do is bottle all that up, use it in a few days, but take that to Long Island and the Hudson Valley and make sure that we can stop the insanity that's happening now while we're in the minority, while we don't have the power, the levers of power in Washington. I want to win back the House through New York. And what I saw in that stadium was refreshing and energizing to know we can harness all that, to be on the same team, and to make sure we can do a lot of great things for the people of this state and indeed the country. So, no, it was a great event. I enjoyed being there.
So would you change your mind about taxes?
Because of that event?
Because of that and
I'm having a lot of
about
conversations about
him endorsing you?
Well, I didn't ask him for his endorsement. That's the only reason he hasn't. They want to know my timeline. I said, let's get through this election. Let's let the focus be on your race.
They're doomed.
I have a lot of time to roll out my endorsements, of which the
We
many
almost have
I'm
to
going to be
play
proud
this
of.
again. And by the way, can I say that the second most annoying thing in this clip, we should probably play it again because you can't even figure out what she's saying. But can I just say something? This is something that personally bothers me the most. Enough with the vocal fry. Whoever that reporter is, drop the vocal fry. You sound stupid. I know you think it makes you sound smart, but you sound really dumb. So, do you think it's going to pay the taxes? And is it actually going to take care of it? Is it the bills? Like I can't even do vocal fry because it's so just low brow and people use it and they think they sound smart and they sound stupid. But we should probably play that one more time because I have no idea what she said.
And no one does. I mean, but I like the first part of this that she says I thought they were saying "Let's go Bills." Really? Are you you have no idea what people in the audience were chanting? You have no clue why you were there and why people were excited. Oh yeah, I just thought they were saying what? Hold on.
Given the reception you received last night at Zoran's rally where people were chanting, tax the rich, tax the rich. Are you going to hold the line on raising taxes, even if it means losing an endorsement or getting a primary challenge?
I couldn't hear what they were chanting. I thought they were saying, "Let's go Bills." I wasn't sure. When you're up there, I heard some noise. I heard a lot of cheers. But later on, it became clear to me that there is I know there's passion for that. I mean, I went in there as the leader of the Democratic Party, whose job it is to unify behind the Democratic nominee. I love the energy out there. I told them that. And I want to do is bottle all that up, use it in a few days, but take that to Long Island and the Hudson Valley and make sure that we can stop the insanity that's happening now while we're in the minority, while we don't have the power, the levers of power in Washington. I want to win back the House through New York. And what I saw in that stadium was refreshing and energizing to know we can harness all that, to be on the same team, and to make sure we can do a lot of great things for the people of this state and indeed the country.
I mean, just no one has any idea what you just said at all. You didn't even know what they were chanting about, and you think that is going to be popular. Tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. You think that's going to be a nationwide popular policy? Do they actually believe this, that this is going to somehow taxing the rich is going to make a popular policy. Is that what they really believe? Like, it's not that popular of a policy. It's popular amongst left-wing socialists, but outside of left-wing socialists, there is not very many things that are popular about the idea of taxing the rich, because most people that actually understand anything know that if you tax the rich, then the businesses die because the rich are the ones that are paying all of the taxes anyway. So, yeah, it doesn't really work. But it's just, it's so stupid. These people have nothing.
Before we move to Virginia, because like I said, guys, by the way, can you repost the space? I appreciate everybody here listening or watching on Substack or watching the live here on X or listening here in the space. If you guys could repost, I'd greatly appreciate it. Obviously, we're heavily suppressed, and obviously, this is going to be it's going to be a shorter episode this evening. We're going to run for the total for about an hour and a half. I probably will open up a space after this because there's so much more I want to get to, and I can run the extra hour and a half as a, I don't know, political theater after show. We can do it that way. But repost the space, please, guys. But I do want to add a contrast wall before we move to Virginia. I want to know who does it better. Is it Kamala Harris, or has Kathy Hochul actually kind of taken the lead on word salad? And I have a clip from Kamala that is indeed more word salad. Maybe we should get into that as well. Oh, man, I've got so much stuff here. I've got Karine Jean-Pierre getting owned twice today, which was really funny, by the way. But there is a Kamala Harris. She has returned.
Well, I mean, we do need to hear from a couple different people today. So I'd like to hear this since we're on a word salad kick right now. Like, let's hear from Kamala, but let's also hear from Joe Biden, because he emerged. They pulled him out of the crypt. He did show up today, and he was very angry, very, very angry. And he wants everyone to know that they're supposed to fight for the ghost of Christmas past. They need to make sure that Scrooge is fought for. We'll play that as well. But I definitely want to play the Kamala clip. Before we do that, though, guys, make sure you guys share this space out. This is the Political Theater, weeknights at 9. Thank you guys for showing up this evening. And make sure you guys check out our content. We can go to WCDispatch.com, and that's where you can watch this show live, weeknights at 9. There's also on Substack, on Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, all the people that are listening on all our different platforms. We appreciate everyone who shows up here. And make sure you guys check out The Wellness Company. It's a sponsor of this show, and if you guys use code TPT at checkout, you get 10% off your entire order. Make sure you guys check them out as well. They've got a great company. They can take back control of your health with The Wellness Company. TPT, and that is the code, and it is twc.health/TPT for the referral link for this show. Okay, let's keep rolling here, though. So this is Kamala Harris. What is this now?
She was on the BBC on Sunday.
Oh, God.
And she was talking about Biden, so it's a perfect setup to go into
beautiful.
Oatmeal brain. But
pudding for brain? Tapioca?
It's quite spectacular. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play this here. I'll pull this up. Okay, share this tab instead. All right, let's see what Kamala is. How drunk is she on this one? Is she hammered? She's been hammered at every single one of these so far.
Look at her eyes.
Here we go.
I ask, was it on my behalf, grace, or recklessness to not raise the point with him about whether it was right for him to run? But let's be clear, my question was never about his capacity to be president.
But isn't it a strange message to the public to say, you know what, you need to be tougher and more able to run a political campaign than actually to be the person behind the desk in the Oval Office, to be the person making decisions in the Situation Room? So did you just not think it was that bad, or did you feel you just couldn't raise it?
I was concerned about his ability to run for re-election, given what the campaign would require.
Oh, my God. She just said it. She just said it. Like, so, the question was, is it more difficult to run the campaign than to be president? And she was like, yes, essentially. That's essentially what her answer was. Yeah, it's more difficult to run the campaign than it is to be president. Like, hold the phone. Now, I understand that Kamala is not the greatest judge of what things are difficult because, for those who aren't aware, Kamala, while she was vice president, was quite literally the character from Veep. Like, I mean, she was caught playing solitaire multiple times in her office as vice president. Like, this woman was not doing anything. Okay, so, it got worse and worse and worse, and like to the point that she, like, every time they gave her something to do, you just assumed that nothing was going to happen. They gave her the border czar. She never went to the border. She was supposed to be in charge of, what was the other thing they gave her? Broadband internet for rural communities, and they spent like $7 billion and they didn't do anything. So this person has no idea what it takes to do anything in a leadership role. But I love that she just said right there, yes, it was more difficult to run the campaign. I thought his capacity to run the campaign, he wasn't able to do that, but it was not about him being the president at the time. Like, so she said yes to the answer, even though she said it quite stupidly. Oh my God, these people.
Fantastic.
I love that she's making a comeback, though. Do you see the other day when she said she's not done? Guys, I'm telling you, the Kamala Buttigieg ticket, 2028, booty juice in the hoe, is going to hit. We're going to have the ticket. My yard signs that I already purchased, I cannot wait to put them up. Okay, I'm all for this ticket. I hope so. This is going to be great.
It's going to be fantastic. But again, I have to admit, I mean, Kamala World Salad, she gave us many memories, many memes, many moments. But Kathy Hochul, my goodness gracious. I mean, wow. That was spectacular. And it just shows you that Skeletor was never ever able to be up to the job. She was just the person who was lieutenant governor, who was willing to take down Cuomo. And listen, I hate Cuomo. I don't care about him. I don't care about nipple rings in chief. All I'm saying is that she was thrust in the role the same way that Kamala Harris was. Right? It's admitted on camera. Like I have the activists on podcasts talking about how they went to Joe Biden and said, you're gonna put a black woman in the vice president, and they pressured him to put Kamala Harris in there. And now, I mean, there's questions about that anyway. But like the same way, like she was the first out of the primary. She got less than 2% popularity, yet she was tapped to be VP because of these activists that had Biden and the Democrat Party by the balls. A lot of people just hadn't seen it yet, to the extent that we all know it.
Did you see that clip that came out over the weekend of, what's her name, Bennett, I think her name is, from Lindell TV? She asked people at the No Kings rally. She said, well, what about Kamala? She didn't get any votes. And he's like, yes, they did. She's like, no, but she didn't, though. She didn't get any votes.
She didn't. Yeah. Not Bennett. That's I think you're thinking of Caitlin Bennett. The girl that has been doing this for Lindell TV, blonde. I'm trying to think of her name. Anyway, she was nailing them. She's been nailing everybody. She's even got Pelosi to cuss her out.
Yeah, well, that was pretty damn funny the other day. But I mean, I just love they're talking to the No Kings people, and they're like, well, but you know that Kamala didn't get any votes at all. And they're like, that's not true. Like, but it is. But it actually is true. Like, she didn't get any vote. I think someone did the numbers at one point, and the numbers on Kamala's votes that she got in the primary was like less than 2,000. Like, that was it. Like, she got 2,000 votes or something in the Democrat primary. So she literally didn't get any.
That's what I was saying. I think the highest that she got, if I remember correctly, it was like 2%.
Yeah, it was nothing. I mean, it's nothing. She was the first one to drop out. I mean, she was the first one to drop out. And it's Allison Steinberg is the one that we were thinking of. That's who it was.
Yep. Allison Steinberg.
So anyhow, here is Pudding for Brain. Tapioca himself comes out here, and he is very angry. So since we were talking about the previous administration, that they've somehow resurrected the dead and had them come out and start talking again. But Joe Biden was very angry today. So I've got a couple clips to play of Joe Biden here. So this was he was talking about, and he was very mad. I don't know what he was doing out here. I don't know who brought him out, but here he is.
In my over 50 years in elected public life, this is the worst I've seen it. It's time to get re-engaged. It's time to act, to fight like hell. This is no time to give up. It's time to get up. Get up now. Get up.
So, I do love that even in this very, very short clip, we got the whisper, yelling, mad, angry Joe Biden. These are my favorite parts of Joe Biden. I know we don't talk about Joe Biden because he's dead, and he was dead, and everyone forgot that he existed as soon as he left, and he became the dash between 46 and 47, between 45 and 47. But he is very entertaining to watch speak because he can't keep his brain functioning for more than 8 seconds. So in the midst of talking, his brain then ramps up because of the Adderall they gave him, and he just, and then everyone gets angry for a couple seconds, and then we go back to a whisper. It's amazing listening to Joe Biden talk. I mean, I've always thought he's such a great orator. It's very entertaining because there's another clip of him just a little bit ago that was the same sort of deal.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me, but like I look over, I hear yelling in the house, and I look over, honey, what is that? Is the TV up? Like, no, that's just Grandpa in the sunroom yelling at clouds again. Like it's just pathetic. But I would submit and suggest maybe Kamala Harris run on the hairy leg strategy. That seemed to do well for Joe Biden.
That's brilliant. I think she could run on the hairy leg strategy. That works. But here's another slightly longer clip of Joe Biden from the same sort of thing. He's talking about the dark days. The dark days that we live in now, that we're in, America's in a horrible position because of, something that he doesn't know about because his brain was left 6 years ago. But anyway, here we go.
Friends, I can't sugarcoat any of this. These are dark days, but we're one of the only countries in the world that time and again has come out of every crisis we faced stronger than we went into that crisis. Every one. And after half a century of watching this, sometimes move to the brink before finding our true compass again. I still believe we'll emerge, as we always have. Stronger, wiser, more resilient, more just. So long as we keep the faith, remember who in God's name we are.
So there you go. These are dark, dark days, according to Joe Biden, and we will emerge stronger. And then my brain stopped working, and then we will get louder again, and then we will get quieter. Like, oh my God. Why do you drag this guy out? Let him go back to being, the ghost from Return of the Jedi. Like, just leave him alone, okay? Let him pretend that he knows how to play chess and all these other random photos. Like, just leave him alone, okay? The guy's dead. He was dead years ago. You drag him out again. You made him run for president while he had cancer. Then you pretended he was alive while you gave him cancer treatments on a beach in Delaware for the entire time he was in office. And then you tried to convince us that he wasn't dead and that he didn't have those problems, even though he told us that he had cancer. Like, I mean, he told us years ago. Remember, we found that clip in the middle of one of our shows one night. We literally found the clip of him saying, I did have cancer in 2022. And so, this guy is not the hero of the Democrat Party, and I don't know why they trot him out or even bring him out for anything. My guess is that maybe he's out of money, and they, the Biden Inc. money has run out, so they have to drag his corpse up there onto stage so that he can make some money from the family. That's my only guess here.
Yeah, I mean, I believe he just inked a $10 million book deal. So maybe they have to raise his profile again, and this is part of the PR tour for people who are enraged and angry at mean Donald Trump, the king, and Stephen Miller, and the fascists are taking over. Maybe he's got to catch the wind of the sails of that through the PR spin because he's got that $10 million book deal that he just landed. I suspect that's most of it. I gotta be honest with you. At this point, the man can't harm us anymore, as he was while he was in office, or at least the near attendant types and and the chiefs of staff that were actually running both the auto pen and everything else that was going on with inside the White House. But he can't really harm us anymore. So I'm actually all about hearing some more Dark Brandon clips. I like the Dark Brandon. That was always fun. It was always cute. It's like I don't know what cloud you're yelling at, sir. But I don't take you seriously at all. And I have deep concerns about people like Ian Sams and Rob Flaherty and many other people inside that White House, like Neera Tanden and Rosa Brooks out of Georgetown, who pretends to be a lawyer when she's really like evil incarnate. By the way, ran Obama's drone program, part of the Transition Integrity Project. These are evil, evil people. I'm still waiting for some more receipts if we can find out that people were, in fact, actually paying tens of thousands of dollars to the AutoPen administrators for pardons and such. I believe that was floated, and that investigation is kicked up. That's another story for another time. So right now, while he can't harm people, I'm here to laugh about Dark Brandon's return. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Brandon's return is pretty entertaining, and Kamala coming out and saying that she's not done yet is also entertaining. I hope not. I mean, bring her back. Let's get another one. I want to see another round of Kamala. She's very entertaining to watch. She's completely clueless 99% of the time. She's very, very drunk in most of her recent ones. Like we played the clip the other day of her at Howard University where she was literally unable to stand. She is being held up by other people, falling. She's like, you guys are the future of the world. And, Howard University is the place that taught me everything about drinking. It's just these people... they're hopeless, but it's very fun to watch. But we do want to talk about a little bit this redistricting stuff that's going on here. So we're going to pivot in here a little bit, and there's actually a different clip here that I can actually put in here that's perfect for this. And this is a little bit something I was kind of surprised by. Did you see this when Schwarzenegger came out and went against Tapper and just completely eviscerated him?
I saved it.
Yeah.
I saved it because I was like, what timeline am I on? Like, this is not the same Arnold that we've had like the last several years. Like, he kind of went goblin mode a little bit. I did not expect it. Although I will say his boxed dark black hair dye that he's using is quite noticeable. You can't do that much of a change in hair color and then leave the beard, Arnold. But yeah, no, I saved this clip, but we just didn't have the space or the time to get to it. But if you have it, roll with it because it's wild.
Yeah, this is a great clip to talk about this because we're going to move into the redistricting stuff that they're trying to do in Virginia, which is ridiculous. And this is just more nonsense from the Democrat Party of the party of no kings. Apparently, no kings. But Arnold here, I think this caught Tapper by surprise because Arnold's also been out there talking about how he believes climate change and he's been ranting about climate change. But they forget that he actually was a Republican governor. They seem to have forgotten that. So I'll go ahead and play this clip here because this is pretty interesting from Arnold here.
As you acknowledged, this all started because of redistricting in Texas, and this was Trump pushing Republican-controlled states to throw out their current congressional maps so as to cook the books, so that it is less likely for Democrats to retake control of the House during the next year midterms. I mean, is it fair to argue that do you believe that the Republican Party is starting this?
No, Jake. There has been gerrymandering going on for 200 years. There is such extreme gerrymandering going on that in a state like Massachusetts, it has like 40% of the people voting for Trump. They have 0 representatives. The Republican Party has 0 representatives sent to the House. Think about that. In New Mexico, if 45% of the people voted for Trump and voted Republican, and 0 is sent to the House, 0 representative from the Republican Party. So there's gerrymandering, crazy gerrymandering going on all over the country, and we wanted to try to stop it in California, and we did stop it in California, and we went around the country. So I think this whole thing about finger pointing and saying they did it, so therefore we should doing it, that's not really the way to go. The one party should outperform the other party. It should be performance. And when it comes to midterm elections, as you know, always the party that is not in the White House usually wins by 20, 25, 30 seats. So what does 5 seats matter in the first place in Texas? It is crazy. Yeah. We should outperform them. That is where the action is.
So there is Arnold talking about it and bringing up one of the most important points that everybody talks about when the Democrats, oh my God, redistricting. Like, well, okay, yeah, sure. But, you guys have literally gerrymandered states so badly that they don't even have any representation. Like the Northeast, like go look at the Northeast. I mean, what he's talking about, it's not just 1 or 2 states it's like that. It's every state up there in the Northeast is like this, okay? They get 40% votes for Trump, votes for their Republican representative, but there's 0 seats that are Republican. 0? None? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But at least he pointed it out, and he's talking about that when they need to overperform, and he doesn't care about the 5 seats in Texas. You're right, but what I want to see happen is I want him to do it in every state that the Republicans can, because this is the same thing the Democrats have done. That's the one thing he doesn't get right. The one thing he doesn't get right is that he's saying, well, we shouldn't do that. We should just outperform. Like, no, okay, yeah, that's fine. We can outperform, but let's play on the same playing field, okay? Let's play for the same playing field. We don't need to do that. We need to play on the same playing field that they're playing with us, which is, screw you guys. We're going to do it anyway. We're going to make sure this works. We're going to go about this because you guys have done it in all your states, so let's do it in ours. And this is what leads us to Virginia. Now, Virginia is unique in this scenario because in Virginia, they had actually passed a constitutional amendment, which a large percentage of the voting populace of Virginia actually did. Okay, so the 65% of the electorate in Virginia voted to make a constitutional amendment to make it so that it was nonpartisan for how they drew their lines for their districts, okay? So this passed 5 years ago. It's not like it was a long time ago. They got this through. And then today, or yesterday, or over the weekend essentially, and then today when they brought it out in the House, the Democrats are trying to ram through their redistricting plan through the House right now with zero debate about it. I mean, they didn't have any debate to the point that, I'll play Nick Freitas was talking about this earlier because he's a delegate in Virginia. So he was talking about it, and he said, they didn't have a single bit of debate. They didn't talk about it at all. And they just decided to walk through it and completely ignore all precedent in any debate whatsoever. And this is what they're doing now, which is why I say that the Democrats are going full communist, because they don't care. They don't care what the voters are doing. They don't care what the voters are talking about. That doesn't mean anything to them. They're just going to ram through their ridiculous ideas, and this is what they're doing in Virginia now.
Well, that was a cluster. So every session in the Virginia General Assembly have what's called the morning hour, and that's the opportunity where we get to actually talk about issues that are important, like, a random special session that was called up, which is going to completely alter the way that we draw political lines in Virginia. So, of course, we had an opportunity to speak, right? Oh, no, of course not. No. Speaker Don Scott, the guy that always likes to go to No Kings rallies, he's the one that essentially loaded up the entire morning hour with introductions from random people who were suddenly visiting the Capitol. And so that consumed the entire time, and we basically didn't get an opportunity to say anything in morning hour, because this is what they think democracy is. Hey, why are we even shocked anymore?
So that's what Nick Freitas had to say about this. And he's right. I mean, they don't care. Okay, and that's the problem here. The Democrats don't care at all what they're talking about. It doesn't mean anything to them. They're just going to ram through this idea, and they're going to push it through, and there's nothing that anyone's going to do to stop them, and they're just going to move directly forward. By the way, another note on this. While they were doing this, okay, so by the way, Abigail Spanberger multiple times has been asked about the redistricting plan. She said, well, the people in Virginia put a constitutional amendment in, blah, blah, blah. Well, then she got a $150,000 check from the National Fund for the Redistricting stuff from the Democrats, okay? And then she completely flipped her tune, and they immediately started this special session. So 1 week, she got a $150,000 check from the National Redistricting Group from the Democrats, and then there was a special session called, and now they're moving forward with it. So this is somebody that doesn't care to the point that she's just going to be at the whim of the party on a moment's notice, on a pivot, on a dime, and apparently the whole party in Virginia is just going to go right along with it. So, these are the Democrats that we're talking about here. They don't care at all about the voters. The only thing they care about is levers of power. So, when Arnold's saying, well, we shouldn't redistrict and do stuff like that. No, we should. Okay? We need to. We're going to have to. We're going to have to fight them back on the same level of the redistricting that they're doing to us, because they're going to move forward with it. Like, they don't care at all. They've gerrymandered their states to the point that they are absurd. But they don't want us to do that, because they know they're going to lose a ton of seats if we start doing that. But we should, because this is the kind of stuff that they're going to do. And Virginia is a perfect example of it. They don't care at all. They're just going to move right forward with it. It means nothing to them.
No, it doesn't. And that's the thing here, too. I'm going to send you a clip of a reminder, and it's in response to Josie, who I love Josie, but it was Maloney and Tim Pool, and they were talking about to cast your vote for a guy who says he wants to put a bullet in the children's head of your opponent. That's insane to me. And I replied with the Sam Harris clip. I said there were signs, and this was years ago. This has been going on, and so we were talking about. I can't believe New York would go with this. Yeah, they're going to go with Kamdami. I can't believe that there's still any kind of Democrat support in Virginia for a guy who wants to put a bullet in the head of the Speaker of the House's children and kill the children. And you got Pol Pot and Hitler and the Speaker of the House, and I'm going to put two in him. I've only got two bullets. Yet I just reminded people that this was years ago when the Hunter Biden laptop story first came out, and Sam Harris goes out and says this. So you should probably play this, because I want to remind people that it's 1,000% capable. And these people who are also the same first order thinkers who think that, we're just going to have free and fast buses and all the free stuff and everything else that's going on in New York. And people can't wrap their head around what's going on in Virginia. There is no truth but power when it comes to Democrats. They have gone full communist. They're not hiding it. It's not a joke. And we still can't, because we are moral and good people. We can't figure out, we can't wrap our heads around that people would say these things, and they would say these awful things about Charlie Kirk, and they would advocate for violence, and these are normal people. They think you're fat, squishy awfuls, right? Affluent white female liberals. They're fat, squishy, weirdo feminists, blah 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 blah, and they're saying the most ridiculous and audacious stuff. Yeah, but Sam Harris was kind of indicative of this years ago. If you want to play this clip, I think we should remind people this, and I cut it short. It's a much longer clip, but he says enough here, and this is in response to how can any sane person get behind these people and Democrats and everything else with all the rhetoric? And I'm here to remind them it's always been this way. We just pretended not to see it because of the goodness in our own souls and nature.
Yep, and I've got it here.
At that point, Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement, I would not have cared, right? It's like there's nothing. First of all, it's Hunter Biden, right? It's not Joe Biden. But even if whatever scope of Joe Biden's corruption is, like if we could just go down that rabbit hole endlessly and understand that he's getting kickbacks from Hunter Biden's deals in Ukraine or wherever else, right, or China, it is infinitesimal compared to the corruption we know Trump is involved in. It's like a firefly to the sun, right? I mean, like there's just it doesn't even stack up against Trump University, right? Trump University as a story is worse than anything that could be in Hunter Biden's laptop.
I'd forgotten about that. Yeah. So
I would like to remind people there were signs.
Yeah. I mean, this is right. That is good signs, and that's a great clip to reply to that with. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. I mean, there were signs. These people are perfectly. And by the way, what he's responding to is this clip talking about the idea of people that are going to cast their vote for the guy that's saying that they're Jay Jones. So I can play that too. That's a couple minutes here from Timcast. But the deal is
it's a good clip.
Yeah. This is worth talking about. So this is what that's replying to, and I think it's a good response to it, to be honest with you, because this is right.
Not just New Jersey, though. I know you guys are working up there in New Jersey, but what do you think about what's going on in Virginia? Because let me tell you, we're talking about self-defense and protection. I'm a few minutes away from Virginia. Let me tell you how worried I am and my family, because we drive down the road and we see signs for Jay Jones everywhere. And this is a guy who said he wants the children of his political rivals murdered, and he wants conservatives murdered. And he wants to own law enforcement in that state. He didn't lose an endorsement. He barely went down in the polls. If this guy wins, it is a terrifying reality for what's going to happen to anyone conservative-minded.
Yeah, I think this is a huge moment for Virginia to decide, which direction they're going to go. I lived in Virginia for a couple of years, Northern Virginia. I always thought it was a pretty good place to live. Northern Virginia is a little crazy with a lot of their laws. But if this Jay Jones guy wins, I think it's just going to send a message that not only has the Democrat Party lost its way in the party leadership, but a lot of the party voters. I've always been a believer that a lot of times it's the radical activists or the radical donors, and that's what kind of the politicians react to. If voters in Virginia decide that a guy who fantasized about killing a political opponent and his kids, if he gets elected, I'm going to have a real trouble. I mean, that's going to be difficult for me to understand how you justify it. Like, I get it. You vote along party lines, but it's not like these voters are going to the polls, Tim, and don't know. This is the number one story. Every single voter knows about it. If you want to do a split ticket because you can't vote for him, but you're a Democrat, I can at least understand that. But to cast your vote for a guy who says he wants to put a bullet in the children's head of your opponent, that's insane to me. And the fact that we even have to say it, think about how wild that is. 20 years ago, I hope and I think this person would be run from public life. Now, Democrats are figuring out a way to spin it and justify supporting them. And like you said, not one endorsement lost.
What about the Nazi guy in Maine?
I mean, this is the point, right? I mean, this is all the same idea. He brings up the Nazi guy, which we talked about last week. The guy that had the Totenkopf. By the way, I pointed this out to people. There's an image that came out from him, and I'm going to put this up on the screen for people to see this. But the idea that these people are just going to consistently back, they don't care who it is. Doesn't matter to them. They're just going to back him anyway. But I want to put this up on the screen for people to see. The Totenkopf guy, which is the Graham Plattner guy up there in Maine, that we heard about this guy at first, and we're like, oh, maybe he's not nuts. And then it turns out he was just a gay communist like the rest of them. And apparently he's a gay Nazi communist, which is even better here. But
I don't even know how that exists in real life. Like, I don't even understand how that exists. But go ahead.
Yeah. So the deal is that this image here, and I just put this up on the screen for people to see. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit better so you can see it. So the Totenkopf image that he has, which is literally a Nazi SS tattoo. Okay. There's no, misinterpreting what that is. Okay. There's only one of those. It's a very, 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 very specific skull and a very, very specific symbol. Now, the problem I have is that in this most recent interview where he has his shirt off to show his cover-up for this tattoo, I brought this up to a couple people because there's a problem, okay? When you go to cover a tattoo, normally, if it's a black tattoo, you must expand the tattoo because it is black ink. Now, if you look in the image on the other side of this screen here, which is the cover-up for it, you notice that there is light green that somehow covers dark black ink. Okay, so you can't do that. Like, it's not possible to cover black ink with light green, okay? Like, you can't make ink lighter, okay? Like, if you're covering over top of it on top of black ink, you're just going to make it darker. Okay, so that's not how that works. And you can even see, it's hard to see on this image here, but I got someone who zoomed in on this and did like a high-def version of this. You can actually see the edges of the tattoo and the bottom of that sticking out. There's like little sections there. So it's a fake tattoo. It's not even a real cover-up. Like, this is a fake tattoo. He put over top of this for this interview and said, "Yeah, see, look, I covered it up." Like,
Right. He didn't get inked. He got
henna.
Put on like a children's tattoo over top of it. Like,
That's
it's
exactly
the
right.
most ridiculous thing. And real quick, Walt, if I may add some more context or color in between the lines. So one of his main staffers quit when this whole thing came out. I don't think she knew about it. And she came out and flat out said, she's like, he's had that for like 10 years, apparently, from what I can tell now. And he is a military historian. He was also a Blackwater operative. He was, spec ops. Like, he understood military history. And so it wasn't like he was just like, yeah, I'm going to get I'm going to get a skull and crossbones or whatever. No. This tattoo is very specific. And being a military and historian buff, as she had put it, and this is why she resigned, was because she's like, he knew damn well exactly what that was, and he had it for 10 years. I don't want to hear that he didn't know it.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. And that's why some of his staff have been quitting. But the deal is, this image here that he has, this shows the Totenkopf image, the dark black ink that it is done in. And then next to it is a light green cover-up over top of it where you can still see the edges of the tattoo on the outside of that. So he has henna over top of his tattoo. Like, that's not a real tattoo, okay? Like, you can't do, unless you're trying to explain to me that he went out and got laser light removal to fade the black out, but then in the midst of doing that, didn't get the edges of that out. So he left the corners of just the little tiny things sticking out of the bottoms of it. So he left those. He didn't get those lightened. He just lightened the center of it and then got green over top of that. Like, this is a fake tattoo. This is a fake image. You just but you got it out for the interview. And you made sure that everyone saw it. So he still has this tattoo, okay? That's what I get from this. And unless I'm proven otherwise, I think this guy still has a Nazi tattoo. And they're still trying to say that he's a good idea. Like, what are we doing? They don't care at all. Doesn't mean anything to them.
I think we should remind people, Walt, let's lay out his labels, because the left is all about labels and gender conforming and acknowledging pronouns and all the bullshit. He is a gay Nazi communist.
Yes.
I don't even know how you arrive at that conclusion. I don't even know how you get there.
Well, listen to me. Listen, and this is the greatest thing about this guy. When I first heard about him, I saw the imaging that they released from him in his first campaign ads or whatever. He's like, I'm an oyster farmer, and I feed my community, and I'm a Marine, and I'm masculine, and I'm like, well, okay. So my first thought was, when I first saw this guy, I was like, yeah, that's right. That's right. He eats carburetors for breakfast. Like, he is the white dudes for Harris guy. Like, that's who this guy is. But to me, my first thought on one is like, okay, you're not going to win anyway because the Democrats don't like straight white men, so you're not going to be able to do anything. But anyway, they push him forward, and he gets the backing of all of the lunatic progressive wing. And then it comes out that there's like a bunch of stuff of him talking about it, and he says, I used to believe in that patriotism stuff. And then when I got back from being on tours of duty, I started eating magic mushrooms and became a communist. I'm like, well, okay then. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, yay. Like, okay, so he is a gay communist. Like, I mean, he just like fine. And then he's, multiple times in there, he's like, well, I don't get rid of my guns though because I don't trust the fascists to play nice. Like, okay, so you're just the same as they always have been. Okay, there's nothing new about this guy. Nothing new. He's the same thing he's been the rest of the Democrat Party is. They just got some guy that they thought looked masculine. And my friend Evan Barker made a comment. She was like, he is the masculine version of what some like lunatic leftist in Portland, Oregon envisions as a working class guy. That's who this guy is. And I was like, oh, that's pretty accurate, actually, now that I see it. Now that I know that he's a gay communist that eats mushrooms and talks about fascists. Yeah, I mean, okay, fine. It's just, this is the Democrat Party. They don't have anybody. They've got nothing other than this kind of people. These are the kinds of people that they put up everywhere. I mean, and that's why we're talking about the Democrats are just, they've gone full communist, and they have. They've got literal Nazi communist. That's who this guy is. He's a Nazi communist that eats magic mushrooms, and he's running for office, and they're fine with that. They got Jay Jones. They didn't pull any of his endorsements. He's literally talking about shooting Republicans' children and letting them die in their mother's arms, and they're fine with that. They got Mom Kami, who is a communist, who has literally said, I'm going to seize the means of production, and they're backing him. And you got Kathy Hochul out there, Bucktooth Bandit of the Northeast, saying that, whoa, look at all the energy. I thought they were saying go Bills. Like, oh my God, you've just
It reminds me of the NASCAR race. Be like, do you hear the crowd? They're
Oh
all
God,
saying,
yes.
Let's go, Brandon.
God, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. There's no difference in it. They don't care. Okay, it doesn't matter to them what the people are saying. They don't care that if they're screaming tax the rich and eat the rich and all that stuff. Nothing that matters to them. Like, according to Matt Taibbi, main guy went to a super fancy school. Yeah, no, he did. No, his family is extremely well connected. For those who don't know that, so glory to God that just commented that. No, he went to really fancy schools. His father was a donor. He worked for the Ford Foundation for a number of years. Like, this guy's a limousine socialist. Okay, he's the same thing.
But he was also pretty elite when it comes to like spec ops and like Blackwater and stuff like that. Like, regardless of how you feel about them, and I'm not even giving him a compliment, but I'm also saying like the dude was kind of lethal. And like, how do you go from that to gay communist oyster farmer eating mushrooms and I just don't, and becoming a Nazi? I don't understand any of it. Like, it needs to be studied. I mean, look, I know we're on Virginia and I know we're pressed for time, but man, I really would love to end this spot before we finish up Virginia, because there's still a lot to talk about with Virginia, specifically the DEI stuff that's making its way back into Virginia that we saw today in Norfolk. But I mean, could we play this minute and 30-second spot for White Dudes for Harris? Because
of course we can, because it does actually kind of represent the guy. So of course we can play that. So send me that and I'll play that, because this is the same sort of thing. I mean, this is the same deal. This guy is here. Whoa, that's loud. So this is the same deal, though. This is the same deal. This is who they've decided. This is the Democrat Party. This is Graham Plattner. It's the same guy.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500 and braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies?
Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Good Will Hunting.
West Side Story.
That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
So this is the same guy, though. So, like, you could take Graham Plattner, and he could be any of those people in that ad. Like, any of them. That would be exactly right. Like, I mean, it wouldn't matter which one of the characters from that ad. Any one of them could be Graham Plattner. Any one of them.
100%. But I think he's the guy with the hat and he's sitting sideways with his hand on his hip and he's talking about full-throated endorsements. I'm pretty sure it's that guy.
I mean, that might be Graham Plattner. He might have changed his hair. It could be the same guy. I mean, until someone tells me it's otherwise, I just think that is him. I mean, it really is like that, though. I mean, they have nothing. Okay, like they've got no masculinity. They don't even know what masculinity is anymore. So their response to masculinity is, let's go get a guy that looks tough, but it turns out he might be a Nazi. Oops. Well, whatever. We don't care. I mean, that's fine. Shut up. What's just a little bit of Nazism? Okay, like it's just a little bit. He's just a little bit of Nazi. Okay, like it's not that bad. He's just a sort of Nazi. Okay, like he only has the Totenkopf on his chest. It wasn't that bad. He covered it up with some henna. So like what's wrong with that? Right. Like he's got henna on his chest now. It's fine. It's fine.
Like he's definitely pro-communist. He's taken drugs, so that's good.
That's right.
He forms oysters, and like, listen, I know there's like a little bit of Nazi in there.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, that was my fault. Something accidentally played. Go ahead.
No, I think the glitch actually covered it up. We didn't hear it. Yeah, we have a 30-second glitch. We get attacked. This space gets attacked all the time. I'm being told that people can't even find the space anymore right now after they were already listening and got booted. Like, this is just like normally what happens. But so one of my friends, well, you'll appreciate this. One of my friends just messaged me. She said, "That's like he only beats me when he's drunk. So, but he's drunk every day. But he only beats me when he's drunk. Like, at least he said he's sorry. Again, he's only a little bit Nazi, but at least he's gay and a communist.
That's
Like,
right.
yeah, yes, like, yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. But to kind of shift into, because like I do want to be serious here for a moment, because there's like Virginia's like in a bad place. You saw this Mark Early clip from earlier, right? When he was talking about the session.
Maybe, I don't know.
He's a delegate. He's a delegate in Virginia. Here, I'll send this to you. I'm sure you did see it, but for people that didn't see it, because they probably aren't zeroed in on Virginia politics as much, I'm going to send you that one. No, by the way, it's all fine. Like, this is perfect. This is what we make. Yeah, apparently my page is not showing my purple ring. We get attacked all the time, guys. It's nothing new. We get torched every day. So I sent you the clip from Mark Early talking about the special session, and then of course you saw the woman who brought in all the DEI stuff from Norfolk.
Yes, I did see that where she started talking about birthing people on the floor. That was amazing to me. Yeah, so send that to me as well. But let's play this clip too. So we'll play Mark Early here talking about the special session real quick.
Yep.
Hey folks, Mark Early here. Wanted to give you an update. We just walked out of our sham session, and here's how it went. The first hour was Democrats introducing and thanking their biggest donors who were in the gallery. The second part was a partisan party line vote that enables a redistricting process, that the goal of which is to totally gerrymander Virginia and make a bunch of seats completely uncompetitive. And the third part was that when Republicans even tried to stand up and speak and discuss the issue, they were shut down and nobody was even allowed to speak. I can't tell you how much of a disgrace this is. This is not the Virginia way. It does not embody the values we care about of dialogue and fairness, and we need to do better than this.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Nick Freitas was talking about earlier. And he's not joking, by the way, when he's talking about what kind of ridiculous stuff that they talked about. Like, this is from John Reed. He put this out earlier. This is not even like, this is the kind of stuff that they were talking about during this part of the session where they're supposed to be debating. This is the kind of stuff they were talking about. So here you go.
This is a dynamic Virginia-based nonprofit organization dedicated to the advancing of maternal health, reproductive justice, and culturally inclusive care for all birthing people.
All birthing people. Oh boy. Oh boy. You know, all birthing people. These are the people that they're talking about. This is one of their big donors. I said this is one of the people they introduced on the House floor to talk. To just discuss the birthing people of Virginia. You know, Virginia, I hope that, you know, we have spent an enormous amount of time trying to promote Virginia politics, trying to get people to pay attention, trying to get people to focus on it because we thought it was important. We thought that we didn't care that the Democrats claimed that they were up a bazillion points, that we thought we could actually make a huge difference in Virginia if we did. And we have spent an enormous amount of time trying to do that. And this is why. Okay, this stuff right here. This is why. Because these are the Democrats. Okay, these are the Democrats. They want to talk about birthing people. They have not changed their policies at all from 2024. Okay, they are still peak woke. Okay, like that's why all of the stuff that we broke about the Northern Virginia schools matters a lot. Like that's why the abortion scandal matters. That's why all of the Loudoun County scandals matter. That's why all of this stuff matters, because they have not moved back to the center on anything. Okay, they are still full 2022 peak wokeism. That is still 100% the Democrat Party. They have not changed that policy at all. Okay, none of their policies are anything different.
Well, I think you should actually, like, number one, take a little bit of a victory lap here. But number two, for people listening that may not have caught the story, they may still have not seen this story. Even if they caught Laura Ingraham, even if they caught like News Nation or Real America's Voice, even if they caught the story somewhere, the story you're referring to on the abortion scandal is Fairfax. And I think that you should probably remind people who are listening, because I know of some people who are listening that actually have access to national parental rights groups. I've seen them here in the space. And I think you should probably retouch on that story a little bit, because there had been advancements on this story, and I don't want it to go away, because I kind of coined the joke that, oh, did you hear what happened with what happened in education in Virginia? And I'm like, yeah, which story? Yeah, which story? Are you talking about Loudoun County? Are you talking about Fairfax? Are you talking about Arlington? Like, they pile up, and Abigail Spanberger and all these people run from these stories, and they don't comment on them. Nick Knock literally chased Abigail Spanberger, and she still wouldn't even actually answer it. And then Winsome Sears on the debate stage was actually staring directly at Abigail Spanberger, and all she did was clench her teeth, screw up her notebook, grip onto her podium as if it was a lifeline hanging off of a 500-foot mountain cliff, and did not answer, looked forward straight, and gave no answers. But the Fairfax story, it's, in my opinion, the Arlington and the Loudoun County stories over the last several years have kind of dwarfed and eclipsed what the current abortion scandal Fairfax story is. And I think we should probably give our audience here a little bit, because you broke this story. This was you that broke this story.
Yeah, well, what we can do, and I'll play a little bit of the Ingram clip that I have it saved somewhere. So I'll just go ahead and play a little bit of this, because this gives you the first overview of it. And this was the initial story. And then I can give a couple updates on it, because it is important to talk about, because there has been a lot of updates on it. And there is still an open police investigation, a state police investigation into it, even though we've touched on it a couple times on the show. And there was a last week, or maybe the week before, I had a long rant talking about this because of the ridiculousness of the school. They came out with their super "we didn't do anything wrong" investigation from their billion-dollar law firm. But this was the initial story, and this is why this was important. And this is when we started to change the conversation up in Northern Virginia. So this is what started all that.
The next story seems too sickening to be true. Tonight we're learning that a Northern Virginia high school stands accused of helping students get secret abortions. After a report by the WC Dispatch, the Fairfax County School District is investigating allegations that officials at Centerville High School arranged and bankrolled abortions at Fairfax Healthcare Center back in 2021. Now, both of the students say they were underage at the time. One says she got the abortion at 17. The other told the Dispatch that she was 5 months pregnant and was pleading to keep her baby. But the school social worker, Carolina Diaz, allegedly told her that she had no choice. Well, the girl ended up bolting from the clinic, we're told. Here to discuss is Carrie Lucas, a Virginia president and
So that was the initial story. And that story there was, that was back in August 5th is when that story broke. And that was the beginning of the shift up in Northern Virginia, trying to get everybody focused on these Virginia schools. Because, again, Fairfax, Loudoun County, Arlington County, all of these places, they still have these ultra-woke school boards. And they're completely controlled by the Democrats still. And they still have these ultra-woke policies. I mean, for those who don't know what's going on in Arlington, that's where the Richard Cox, the 60-something-year-old dude, was just beaten off in women's locker rooms in front of children. Okay, that's a real story as well. And then in Loudoun County, you had the 3 boys that were expelled from school because a trans girl was in their bathroom and started videoing them. And they said, "Why are you recording us?" And they got mad at her. And then they charged each one of those guys with sexual harassment. So this is the stuff that needs to be fixed. And the Title IX investigations that are going on up there, all of those schools are underneath the gun from Virginia, from the Department of Education on Title IX. Title IX, that's that stuff. The biggest reason that I tell people, and there's a bunch of people when we first started talking about this, there's a bunch of really big advocates up in Northern Virginia that were like, well, why didn't Youngkin fix all this stuff before? And it's like, well, you guys have to remember what was going on before, okay? You had Joe Biden in office. And what was the Department of Education going to do then? Nothing. They were going to back them. They were going to back the woke schools. That was the deal. They were going to back all of the woke schools, and they were not going to charge them. We're not going to go after them on Title IX. In fact, Biden was attempting to forcefully change Title IX to include trans stuff in it, okay? So you have to remember the difference is that if you have another 4 years of a Republican governor in charge up in Northern Virginia, they will work with the Trump administration to fix this stuff. Okay, that's going to be the key difference. And what they're doing right now is they're trying to stall. They're trying their best to stall because they're hoping that Abigail Spanberger gets in there and then they'll fight the Trump administration all the way through. Now, the one disadvantage they have is that the Attorney General would have to be the one that would do that. And Mayoris looks like he's probably still going to win. Okay, so and I think Winsome Sears is still within striking distance. Okay, the polls, they keep releasing these ridiculous, she's up 80 gazillion point polls. But then they bring in Obama, the entire top line Democrat Party, and call a special session to get her off the campaign trail. Something tells me that they're not up 10 points. Okay, that just doesn't make any sense, which we've brought up many times. So I tell everybody, get to the polls, bring everybody you know in Virginia to get to the polls, because I think this is a dead heat race, and I think you're right there on the edge. I think that we have a real opportunity to win. But that's the problem, is that you look at this stuff. If they had had 4 years of Trump working with Title IX, trying to get that, Youngkin probably would have gotten all this stuff to be fixed. He probably would have. But the deal is they just got in there, and now all the investigations are starting to ramp up, because now there's actually Linda McMahon is actually working with the Title IX investigations, trying to go after this stuff. And this is going to happen all over the country. Okay, it's not just in Virginia. It's not just in Virginia that you're going to see these Title IX stuff, because Title IX needs to be enforced, because it is supposed to be designed to help women, and instead it's being completely botched and used so that they can put in men in women's sports. And there's nothing legal about that. And they're going to lose in every single court case that go forward. The ridiculous thing is that these school districts, each one of them, they're fighting this stuff all the way through. Like the Fairfax story here, they hired a $1 billion law firm to represent them to release some ridiculous interim report claiming all of this stuff was made up, that the teacher was lying and all this stuff was fake. And, the school district is 100% above board, and they expect everyone to believe this stuff because they have $1 billion lawyers come up with some ridiculous story, which, by the way, their ridiculous story they came up with read to me more like a Vanity Fair piece than it was an actual legal report. Like this was a media hit. Like it didn't have any legal language in it. And my favorite part about it is they claimed that the whistleblower, the teacher, they claimed that she forged this entire document, this one of the letters, which, by the way, we have a recording of the girl talking about anyway, so that doesn't matter. But I love that they say that this letter is forged, but they still redact the name and the signature of the girl. Oh, so it's forged. I say, like it's forged, but we have to redact that. Yeah, sure, that makes a whole lot of sense. But this is the kind of stuff that they're doing. They think they can get away with it because they have the backing, and they think that they're going to get Abigail Spanberger into office, and that they'll be able to stall. And the moment Abigail Spanberger gets into office, they'll be able to get away with everything. But they also seem to forget that even though Abigail Spanberger, if she did even win, you still have to ride out the rest of Glenn Youngkin's term. Do you think he's just going to let it go? Is that what your idea is here? I don't think that's going to be how that works. I think he'll have the opportunity to move forward as fast as he possibly can before he leaves office. So it is pretty amazing to me, though. So, Virginia, we have spent so much time trying to talk about this race because we thought that this was a much bigger opportunity than people were willing to give it credit for. So hopefully we have done everything we possibly can to talk about this as much as we possibly can. Hopefully we can actually see some results from it. And I think we will. I think that people in Virginia, like my argument has been the whole time, is that what are the Democrats voting for? What are they voting for? Like what is their message that they're getting behind other than we hate Trump? Like, yay. Okay, you hate Trump. You guys have hated Trump forever. Like you've hated Trump for years. Like there's nothing new about hating Trump. Okay, like there's nothing interesting about hating Trump. You've hated him for a bazillion years. You've called him every name that you can possibly think of, and he still beat you. Okay, he still beats you at every single level, and now the Trump administration is in charge. Like, you're not going to stop Trump just because, even if you manage to put Abigail Spanberger into office, there's nothing that she's going to be able to do to stop Trump either, okay, because she's just a governor. Like, she's not going to stop the Trump policies aren't going to be hindered by Abigail Spanberger, of all people, okay? Like, your little CIA coup is not going to work anyway, okay? But this is what we've tried to focus on it because we think we have the opportunity to do so. So hopefully we see the results where there's only a few days left before this election comes forward, guys. So, we're talking next week, next Tuesday, we will be there. And I'm going to be in Virginia. I'm going to be at the campaign victory rally, and I'm hoping to see that we actually have a real turnout and we actually do win because I think we can. So if you're in Virginia, make sure you grab every person that you possibly know and show them this kind of stuff so they know what's happening because we can't let these Democrats, these radical communists, get into office.
Well, I just want to set the table a little bit, Walt, because I agree with everything you said. Let me set this table. Let me kind of bring this home before you got to check out. I know you got to go. By the way, congratulations again, man. Amazing stuff. Keep reproducing. Stay above the 2.1 needed replacement rate. Let's have more babies. I'm proud of you, man. Congratulations. But before I let you go, I want to set the table again. All right. So you've got a lieutenant governor, which is second in charge in the state. She's been there with Glenn Youngkin the entire time. She is a first generation or second generation immigrant. She's black. She's a woman. She already has the bona fides of being second in charge in a state that she's now asking Virginians to get behind her, to vote for her, to maintain that consistency and congruency and become governor of a state. On the flip side of that, you've got a woman that spent her entire career in the CIA. She then becomes a state, a House representative, state representative, whatever. And then if Winsome Sears wins and Abigail Spanberger loses, it's because of misogyny and bigotry.
Oh God, yeah, I loved that. The misogyny, that clip is so good.
Right, let's do the math. Like, what? What are we talking about here? The woman has been second in command for some time. She's black, she's a woman, she's an immigrant. What else do you want? Oh, that's right. You don't actually want any of the things that you talk about on a national platform unless they are beneficial to you. And if a black immigrant woman who was a former, I believe, Marine, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, you're right.
Yep. Who has been second in command for some time, and she actually has plans for things, it's going to be because of misogyny and bigotry. But the white woman who was CIA her entire life, we only know of one other person, and that's Alyssa Slotkin, by the way. I've done the math on that. I've done the homework on this, and that's Alyssa Slotkin. So because both these white women that spent their entire lives in the CIA, and because they're Democrats, they are far more suited for that position than a black immigrant woman. Checks box, check box, check box. Also military veteran, also checks box. Also second in command in Virginia for years, checks box. It's because of misogyny and bigotry. And so, like, obviously, none of this stuff matters. And this is why, in my opinion, it's so important to point out. Because, like, obviously, I'm not going to convince any Democrats' minds. They're cult. They're in a cult. They're cultists. They're in a cult. They will never listen to you. It doesn't matter. It only matters what the letter is in the parentheses next to the name. We know this. Fine. But like the moderates, independents, and like people undecided types, and then Republican types, like, can you honestly answer that question in any other way? And I don't think that answer is there. And so, again, I know we have bloodthirsty, crazy, unhinged lunatics that don't like to be out of power even for 5 seconds. They don't like to have their censorship machine. They don't like to have their fundraising upper hands that they've had forever. They don't like the government funneling through NGOs and laundering money to their campaigns. They don't want that. And they're willing to do anything and say anything to make sure their team wins. And they don't really care how anything gets solved because they're just, blue no matter who, and they're just retards. But, like, I've never heard a compelling case against Winsome Sears. And then on top of that, you can take and go look at the footage of the debate that she just recently completed with Abigail Spanberger. And you want to tell me that that's the person that you want running your state, making financial decisions, both with people that are farmers, people in the metros, and then they take the stance and saying, well, I'm going to fight against Donald Trump. What are you going to do as a governor? Well, I'm going to fight for the federal workers. The governors don't place federal workers. Governors don't place federal workers at all. That's up to the government to place you in a job or not. So you literally cannot do anything for federal workers. And then you want to look me in the eye and be like, yeah, no, but ignore all of that. Donald Trump bad, Democrat good. That's where we're at. And ultimately, that's where we're at in this race. And I just wish more Republicans would get out there, and maybe they will show up. But I would say that this is not a time to sit back. And we saw similar indications, and I don't want to get people comfortable with this, but Walt, we know this. We saw similar indications of this where we didn't really make much sense when Glenn Youngkin took it over. And it didn't take a Trump endorsement to do it. So.
Yep. Well, listen to me. I think that it's a very, very close race. And anybody that thinks it's a blowout for the Democrats is just fooling themselves. To be honest with you, they're lying, because you can see from the Democrats' messaging that they're obviously a lot closer than they think. It's obviously a lot closer than they think. Otherwise, Obama wouldn't be on the ground. I mean, they've even got Josh Shapiro down there now. Did you see that? Josh Shapiro showed up this week. So you've got Buttigieg, you've got Andy Beshear, you've got Josh Shapiro, you've got every person from the Democrats on their side showing up to campaign for Abigail Spanberger. Hoping that they can get the vote out better. And, the one thing I wish I'd say is that I wish that there was more big names from the Republican side down there helping out Winsome Sears and helping everybody else out. But at the same time, I just, you got to look at my messaging is that you got to look at these people. What do they have to vote for? What do the Democrats have to vote for? Because I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I don't think there is a message.
And before you close this out, I want to give you the final word and congratulations, Dad, man. Big day. I wish I had a cigar to share with you right now. I've got some cigars put away. I've got the Donald Trump Melania cigar set that I bought when we won in November. I'm still waiting to share that with people. It's in my humidor, no problem. But I sent you a clip from Mikey. They call her Mikey. I want to say it's Mickey. I don't know why they call her Mikey Cheryl, but everyone calls her that. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. But at least Mikey Sherrill in New Jersey is saying the quiet part out loud that Abigail Spanberger refuses to say. And I sent you the clip of this because if you're telling me that the race is so close, or I'm sorry, so far away, and it's going to be runaway in New Jersey, whatever, do you think that Mikey Sherrill will be saying this? She's going against Jack Citarelli, by the way. She said this out loud about parental rights. And parental rights, in my opinion, is one of the largest issues specifically going on in Virginia right now. Energy being a close second. But parental rights is really, because I mean, like Loudoun County, Fairfax, and Arlington, like these are the centers of all of this stuff. It's been going on for years. It's not new.
Yep.
But Mikey Sherrill, whatever, this is what Abigail Spanberger doesn't have the gall to say, yet supports 1,000%. I think you should play this.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play it here. By the way, Mikey Sherrill or Mickey, I don't care how you say your name. No one cares. But by the way, her and Abigail Spanberger were roommates in Congress. I don't know if people know that. That's a little known fact that they were roommates while they were in Congress together. So, and here you go.
I believe that parents have the right to oversee their children's education. I would push in LGBTQ education into our schools. Parents have a right to opt out of a lot of things, but this is not an area where they should be opting out, because this is an area of understanding the background of people throughout our nation. And right now we see, for example, at the Naval Academy, an erasure of history.
Wow. Well, that's atrocious. That I hadn't seen that yet. Yeah, and this is what all the Democrats believe. Okay, this is it. This is exactly what all the Democrats believe. Okay, and this is a good way for us to close because I want everyone to understand this very easily here. That is the Democrat position. You shouldn't be able to opt out of our insane gender ideology stuff. You shouldn't. Okay, you should be forced. Your children should be forced 100% into this. And if you don't, you're a terrible, evil, bad bigot. And what's the matter with you? I mean, this is why Abigail Spanberger, every time she talks about this stuff, she starts going on and on about, well, we need to make it, up to like, in some sort of word salad, but they're just confused and stop being mad to them. Stop being mean to them. Why are you so mean? Okay. This is what they believe. And I'm telling you right now, if Abigail Spanberger gets in, she will immediately rescind every single one of those Glenn Youngkin orders that has to do with parental rights. And these people will force this on every single school in the state. It will. They'll do it in a heartbeat because that's what they believe. And you can go look at some of their donors. We talked about this last week. The donors for the Abigail Spanberger, $50,000 coming from the guy who says that his entire mission in life is to work for an NGO that pushes nothing but NGO, radical, crazy, trans, inclusivity into every single aspect of life. And they will push it directly into the schools. And that is exactly who the Democrats are because, again, the Democrats have gone completely full communist. Guys, this is the political theater. Thank you guys for showing up this evening. And thank you guys for showing up, even though I'm only doing a short show. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. I'm going to go back to my new daughter. I'm going to go see what she is doing. I'm sure she is sleeping, but I'm going to go see her anyway. So I will see you guys tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for more of the political theater. Make sure you guys check out all of our content across all of our different platforms. We are on Substack, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Apple, everywhere. Okay, so make sure you guys check us out there, and make sure you guys also check out our sponsors, The Wellness Company. Go to twc.health/TPT to get 10% off your entire order. And make sure you guys follow and subscribe. You can subscribe right here on X, by the way, to both of us. That's one of the best ways you can support the show. We have subscription options directly on our profile, so you can go directly there, and you can always go to WCDispatch.com to find more of our information and more of our content. I always have articles coming out. I assume Trash will probably have his own Substack and all that sort of stuff up here soon. But we will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for more of the political theater. Thank you guys for showing up this evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Some folks are born with a liberty spark. Their hearts beat red, white, and blue. When the anchors sneer and the cameras bark, they turn the lens right back at you. Truth bound Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not the party line sons, no. We ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so. Some folks inherit silk-lined halls, spend our sweat while preaching share. But when the tax man wraps his knuckles raw, their mansions suddenly look bare, impaired. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not their banker-raised hares, no. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so. Yes, some paint stars on press room lies and send the common men to toil. Ask them, how much truth will you trade tonight? They mutter, more noise, more noise, more noise. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. Not the theater's pawns, friend. It ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're America's steadfast ones. No, we won't be spun.